Hi all, and thanks for attending this training session. Today we're going to be focusing on the coaching experience and how the coach makes the parents feel in the class. We'll explore the essential role coaches play in nurturing positive relationships with parents and how it impacts the overall success of a club. Trying to understanding and addressing parents' emotions, their needs, can significantly enhance the coaching experience and create a supportive and harmonious environment to everyone involved in it. So hopefully we can get some talking points going and can help you inside the class. We've got young Ashton who's going to be asking some questions, and I'm hopefully going to give you the best answers possible to help you through. So yes, I think our first communication about being clear and highlighting how significant that is. It builds a lot of trust. So yes. So Ashton, if you've got any questions for me, fire away. And I'll try and answer them best I can.
Sure, that sounds awesome, Rich. All right, so the first one that I wanted to ask you, what is the main highlight of the parent-coach communication process?
They need to be looking at someone they can trust, someone that knows the answers. So obviously in some of our clubs we've got franchisees that coach the club, which is great because they're going to be on it. They're going to know a lot of information. So that trust is built with that franchisee, which is superb because it's their business. They're going to want to make sure they cater for them. The ones I see where there might be a problem is if the franchisee has coaches hired in and they're kind of really just given the job to kind of just coach and not necessarily haven't got that communication with parents. They just see themselves as a coach. So the importance of making sure that coach that is in there knows everything, and they look at someone that is the business owner, maybe that they may not be, but is the business owner in their eyes, and someone they can go to. They fully trust, has all the answers, and want to come back to that coach. So yeah, I think that's the excuse me. I think that's the issue in there. You find the franchisee obviously hire the coach, puts them in there and just says, right now, coach. I think there needs to be a bit more emphasis on actually saying to their coach what they're expected of outside of actually coaching it, if that makes sense, and that is building that relationship with them parents.
Okay, so active participation from the coach's area is needed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they should know the business back to front if they're the head coach. And like I said in the previous one, about selling, they're a salesman. They're there to sell. They're there to be trusted. That's what they look to. The parent needs someone to go to and go. If they've got an issue, they know where to go. If they've got something positive, they know where to go. All of them sorts of things.
I think that's very important. And the next one is with taking communication to the next level. Would you say that email updates, social media, just interacting with them on a deep level is important?
Yeah, 100%. We have to put a reminder out every single 2 days before the session. So I'd send an email to everyone saying, "Hi guys, just to let you know we've got a session again this week. Can't wait to see you all." It can be whatever you want. Just a good morning message to everyone. Say, "Morning, can't wait to see you at this club. See you at the club on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is." So just them little touches will encourage them to keep coming, and B, you're building relationships. Yeah, should definitely do that in keeping regular contact with them as best you can. You don't want to be sending them a message every day, but just a reminder of the classes, tell them what they might be doing in that session, if someone's going to be away or there might be a coach stepping in, all these sorts of things. Just keeping them involved and keeping them in touch is important.
Absolutely. And then at least they feel valued. And what about sending them updates about their child, like how they are progressing, or if there's a concern maybe?
Yeah and no, obviously. I mean, if there's a concern, I don't, unless it's a serious safeguarding concern. I mean, I don't think progression. Our sessions are very much detailed on having fun and we're not necessarily looking at them and saying, "Oh, this kid's really progressing." What I would say is actually sending out a message saying how well they're doing. Sometimes there's nothing wrong in that. If you can't tell them in the class, then an email just saying, just want to say that your little one's doing really superb, and you're doing really well, and just keep coming. And also there's a level of honesty. I often think this one, and it is like a touch and go market, and there'll be a lot of people who sit here and go, what? But I always said that if there was a child that was 4 or 5 and he was well advanced, I would actually look for him to kind of go to another club. People go, yeah, but you're going to lose that fee. Why would you not do that? That's a little bit, goes back as it's that wow factor, and it shows that it's not about greed and money, and it's saying that you want actually the best for their kids. So I have done that. I've said, look, he's a bit advanced for this. I've got this other club that I know they actually really step into the football market. I know he's only 4.5, but I think it'd be really more value going there, and he'd develop better there. And I don't think there's anything wrong in that, because that will speak volumes about the person, and that's a coach, that's a trust. You know, that's builds trust. I know people are going to listen to this and go, you what? But actually, little things like that, it all works in the favour. It will all work in favour in the long run. In my opinion.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And then I'm sure it also gives the parents, like, they feel that they're investing in their child. It's not just something that they're paying a monthly fee with and not seeing any progress if their child is.
Exactly, and that's why, I mean, definitely saying they're progressing really well, but actually just saying how well they're doing, I think are two different things. I think just, you've done superbly today, well done. It's a nice touch. Very nice.
I think that's a great idea, definitely coming from a franchisee, not so much from a coach. I think, could you imagine if you had a coach that's like, yeah, go to a different club?
Yeah, that 1,000,000%. It has to go to come from a franchisee. But I mean, I'm talking about children that are so far developed in regards to actually football ability. Yes. And we obviously cover a lot more than just football. There's some that, the thing is, I've done it before, and I've spoken to Ferris and look, really, he's really advanced. You should be going there. But they actually turn around from there and go, I really appreciate that. Actually, what we could do is be both. He loves it here, so why would I take him out? But if you could give me that. And they go Friday. That was my Friday club. They went Friday and they went Sunday. So, it's there to be done. But you're right, it should be coming from the franchisee, not from the coach, not their position to say that, obviously.
But it definitely gives people a better perspective of BabyBallers, because it shows that you're not just about the cash. 100%. We're not about keeping you coming back month for month. We actually do care about your child and what their progression is.
Do you know? I see a lot of posts going out. Well done today, Ballers. That's great, right? And that's great. But it's so generic. It's not. No one feels special from that. No one feels. But if you actually send an email and pinpointing to people, and you can actually send an email on Class for Kids which addresses their name first, so you can actually put a group email. That's a lot more powerful than just putting a post out saying, great job today, Ballers, well done. No one invests in that. No one's going to go, if he's put out an email which basically pinpoints their child and go, wow, they've really focused in on it and saying how well he's done, that's really good. But it's these little touches, little gains will build a big success.
Especially in terms of the coaching experience, I think that's definitely true. You want to feel like your coach is invested in your child, and little touches like that make you feel like the coaching experience is worthwhile. Yeah,
massively. So I think these little touches, it's a trust, right? It builds a trust, it builds a bond, it builds a relationship, and it all has a positive outcome. These little touches, instead of constantly going, you owe this month's fee, which is like, Jesus Christ. So if you did 3 positive emails to one of them over the course of the year, all throughout the year, trust me, the outcome would be more positive, and you'd get less people maybe given a bad review. It would be more of a positive review, because they're actually invested in my child here, and they want him to succeed, and they want him to do well, and they want him to grow. Little things like that make massive outcomes.
Especially if you consider the risk to reward. An email costs literally nothing. To send an email as a sign of appreciation, parents do appreciate that. But now that we've touched on some of the things to look out for in terms of doing in the coaching experience, what do you think some of the no-goes are in the coaching experience? Like, do not do this, red flag, get the kid off the court. What is the no-go for the coaching experience, would you say?
In regards to coach the child or coach the parent?
Both, whether it's the coaching experience in class or even the after service, what would you say are the things you don't do?
First of all, make sure you double check their photos can be taken. That's number one, because if you're going to be starting putting their child out on social media and they've said no photos, that's going to cause you a massive bother. And I know that everybody checks.
100%.
Fortunately, we've been okay, but I'd say that's it. I'm trying to think of an experience. I mean, I can tell you one experience which was quite funny. There was a little boy called Timothy, I think, that come to my classes, and I kept calling him Timmy because I thought I normally try and read the parent, right, what they're like, and I was calling him Little Timmy, and the parent come up to me and said, "Can you not call him that, please?" I was like, "Whoa!" Threw me off guard massively. So it really threw me. I was like, all right, sorry, I do apologise. So, but I think as a coach, you've got to know your audience sometimes, and that was a bit of a learning curve for me because I'm always like a bit like jokey. I'd call kids like Ronaldo and things like this. And
yeah.
So know your audience is one thing as a coach. So yeah, don't be pulling any jokes that you think that it might go over their head.
Good idea.
You might not know your audience, but on a whole, what's the no-goes? I don't send a kid off. Don't give him a red card or sin bin him. You got to remember, you're not a teacher here, right? So you can't be in a discipline role. That is not. You are there. You're not there to discipline a child, right? You're there for a child to have fun. I mean, I understand there are children in cases where it's frustrating, and it can get frustrating. It can be, I've had a kid once where he just run out and consistently knock the cones down. So you'd put a session together, and then this little mum would sit on the side, and this little kid run out and just smack it all down. And in my head, I was fuming. I was like, "Why is you doing that? Why is your mum letting you do that?" Right, and I think sometimes my face probably showed that I was like, "Are you going to stop him or what?" Because it just keeps destroying it. And I'm sure me mentioning this, everyone can relate to. I really do. I think everybody might have had this situation, and there is nothing more frustrating. But you've really got to grit your teeth in them situations instead of going. Or the other option is just to take the parent aside and just say, "Look, just in these situations, really appreciate it. If you could just don't be going to the kid, sit your ass back down,
yes,
or I lose my rag." That will not go down well. So, you'll have these situations, you have these little problems. I think you've always just got to keep smiling. At the end of the day, 2 hours, 35 minutes in that class, you are just smiling, happy, even if the floor is crumbling underneath you.
That's such a good side look at things. At the end of the day, you're always going to get those difficult kiddies. You're also going to get the great ones that listen to every instruction. When you say get on the line or whatever, they run straight for the line. But you are going to get those difficult kids. So now you've touched on how we deal with the difficult kids. Let's talk about the difficult parents. As a coach, what is your advice there?
Again, this is about knowing your audience, right? What is that parent expecting from your class? And if you think their expectations are above what you think you're delivering, then you need to make them aware of what the club is and what the class is. So dealing with their expectations is one, and knowing your audience. But I think, you're going to get difficult parents as well. I've had it. You will get them, and they are one of them people that sometimes in the long run it actually might be better if they're not there. I'm trying to find situations that you might find yourself in your parent. Non-payers that consistently turn up, you know, or you know, and they mention it that, you know, oh yeah, no, I'll get it sorted, card had a problem or something like that. They're the ones that'll be like, they're just going to be more hard work than it is, and sometimes you just have to say it as it is. Say, look guys, you've been coming now for X amount of time, you haven't paid, you need to make sure we get this sorted. Other situations, parents, what I call the always looking for a problem. Them ones, you know, sometimes they're the guys that, you know.
Did you just always looking for a problem?
Always looking for a problem. You know, they're the guys that they'll cancel unknown about they're paying 30 days. And like I said in the previous one, if they're going to moan, these sorts of people just they're better off out of it than you arguing where you still owe you 30 days. Just say, okay, look, as a gesture of goodwill, that's fine. I really appreciate you coming, and then just park the bus there. Just leave it there. There's too many people, I think, personally, in this business where it's like principle. Oh yeah, but the sign doesn't matter. You're going to get someone else in. There's a next 16-month-old child currently turning 16 months now. They'll come in. This person will call you morag if you can't argue. They're bad mouth. You're in the area. So these are the parents that you need to know your audience. Parents, you need to know your audience and what you're dealing with. There's a classic story of, and I won't mention any names, of a lady that attended one of our clubs. And look, I'm not being too judgmental, or anything like that, but she hadn't had the best kind of lifestyle, should we say? And she certainly had a chip on her shoulder, and she was threatening all sorts of things that, you know, she owed 30 days, right? That was the point. She owed 30 days, but in reality, the outcome after it from not paying her 30 days was a lot worse. So to get her off your shoulder, refund her that or whatever it was owed, and get her away, because what she actually did after was more damaging to everybody. Bad mouthed you, you know, and these little things are when it comes to you as a franchisee and a coach to the franchisee, you need to know what you're dealing with. It's a difficult one. You know, majority of people good. They'll turn up. They don't like it. They don't like it. That's simple. They like it. They continue coming. Right. That's the long and short of it. There won't be. I mean, you might get the Karens as well. We all know what a Karen is.
Yeah, we do.
The Karens can be interesting, because they are the ones that will see every danger, every issue, and they can sometimes be. So be aware of that. Make sure it's all very safe as we've got Karens. I personally love Karens.
Oh, Russell, no. I think we would not agree with you, Rich. We don't love the Karens, but I think overall with the coaching experience, it's been one of those things where we just want to ensure, whether it's you as a franchisor or most franchisees who have multiple locations and have multiple coaches, you want to assure that quality, that you go to a BabyBallers in one area and you're going to receive the same level of quality in the next town you go to. What do you suggest in making sure that quality is there? How do you make sure that coaching experience is the same everywhere?
Well, first of all, it's the structure of the sessions, right? If a child went to one franchisee's club and then went to another one, albeit the coach will be different, and we touched mainly on that, so I don't last month, so I don't want to touch on it too much. But realistically, the structure should always be the same, right? So if you're going to that club, although the coach's personality might come across differently, the way this class is structured with that warm-up, baby ball mastery, drinks break, start a game, drinks break, and tidy up time, main game, drinks break and tidy up time, and then penalties, or which added the game at the end. For the older, last session of each month, the idea is to do a mini match. You should be able to go to the same session. So the only thing that is the hardest thing in this club is to get everybody to be the same personality in succession. You're never going to get that. It's near on. It's not. Everyone's different, right? So if you can create them to have energy and keep that structure, perfect, right? If we could give every coach energy, passion, excitement, and they kept to the structure, then it wouldn't matter. It's never going to be the case. So the only thing we can do is keep that structure, so they're going into the same session. Yes, you might have heard, so it's a lot more boring than John, the coach, last time, and that will be the only drawback. But we can't. It's impossible to get the same coach. So it's the structure really, which will make sure that that's the similarity. That's the similarity of going to each club. They can move to that one. The children still has the same structure, the same kind of way that the class is being led or delivered. Sorry. So that's the only thing. Obviously, we can only keep trying to pump into everyone, saying that the energy, passion, and confidence, progressive, them sorts of things. But that's more personality based, so it's harder to coach, train, or any of them sorts of things. So it's really about the structure of the session. As long as that's delivered in the same way, then really that's the similarity that you can add if child moves to another club.
Yeah, and as you mentioned in our previous mastermind session, we actually touched on. You were mentioning now that you can't teach a personality, you can't train a personality, but there's certain things you can look out for when employing a coach that you need. And you mentioned those in our previous mastermind. So for any of the franchisees watching at the moment, or if you're trying to show this to your coaches, make sure to also reference our previous mastermind, because that's really where you're going to find the standards that any coach should be held to, whether that be enthusiasm and constant communication and just overall energy. All of that is actually covered in our previous mastermind as well.
Yeah. And to be fair, things that we've covered today can be added into, everybody can do. Sending out little congratulation emails, making sure you're taking time for the parent and child. Them things, that's not a personality. That's just something that can be done for free, 100%. But with nice touches. So you might be the most boring coach in the world, but however, these little touches, they can do.
I definitely agree. But yes, then that is our session for today. It was quite a short one, but I think most of it does fall into our previous mastermind. Before we head off for the session, if you could summarize today's coaching experience in one sentence, what would it be? I'm going to have to let you think on that one. I know that I'm hitting you on the spot here, Rich.
Coaching experience, one sentence.
Yes.
From the parent to the coach, what the parent expectation should be.
Yes, 100%.
Trusting. I'm not going to give you a sentence. I'm just going to give you words to summarize it, I think. Trusting, best intentions, and good value for money.
That's brilliant. I'm actually going to just crash for the recording quickly. I'm just going to say that question again so that it matches up with what Rich said. So I'm going to say, I know that I'm catching you on the spot now, Rich, but if you could summarize the coaching experience in 3 words, what would they be?
Trusting would be one. Good value for money. And beneficial to the child. I think.